Buenos dias mga kasangkayan, welcome back to my channel. So, ang content natin ngayon is related pa rin sa mechanical. Ito ay tinatawag na control valve. Pero bago yan, pagkatapos muna ng isang maiksing intro.
But before we go any further, a word of caution. Don't let just the salaries drive your choices. Let your desire drive your choices. There is wholehearted passionate effort. Passionate effort leads to expertise. Where there is expertise, opportunities and success follow. Control valve is a power-operated device used to regulate or manipulate the flow by varying the size of the flow passage as directed by a signal from a controller. This enables the direct control of process quantities such pressure, temperature, and liquid level. This valve used to control different parameters of fluid by which the required specific task is completed in a proper way as desired. The other functions mentioned in the option are the function of the direction control valve, sequence valve, and hydraulic fuse, respectively. The main function of control valve is to manipulate a flowing liquid, such as gas, steam, water, or chemicals, compounds, to compensate for the load disturbance and keep the regulated process variables to desired set point. There are four principal functions of valves. They are first, on and off, or two, stops flow within the system. Second, flow control, it's regulate the flow. Third, directional flow, or to determine the direction of flow. Fourth, overpressure protection, means safely relieve system pressure if a pressure spike occurs. Some of us who are not really familiar with this types of valves, a control valve, which is there is one valve that can make us confusion. This valve is so-called flow valve. There is a differences between this two valve, a control valve and a flow valve. The difference between control valve, which is our content for today, and a flow valve where I explain for my next video. The flow valve does the same thing. The difference is that it sends signals to flow transmitter. The flow transmitter will then communicate with the flow control valve to tell it whether it needs to open or close based on the amount of liquid that is required to keep the hydraulic system working. By the way, every equipment or instruments, there is always advantage and disadvantage. It's depend on types of the system we operate. I will give the point of what is the advantage and disadvantage of control valve. Control valves can lead to water savings of up to 85%. Thus, they are helpful in meeting the rising demand for water by reducing the wastage of this precious resource. No clogging. Another benefit of flow control valves is that they do not obstruct the flow of fluid. The disadvantage of control valve include opening and closing not being prompt. A large space is required when assembling, starting, and maintaining it. It is also prone to leakage when operated at high temperature due to periodical fluctuations. The pressure control valve also creates vibration. The characteristics of this valve is that all control valves have an inherent flow characteristic that defines the relationship between valve opening and flow rate under constant pressure conditions. Conclusion about control valves: ensure pressure management in the supply network. Automatic control valves are used to obtain efficient pressure and flow management, resulting in reduce water loss through leakages, reduce risk of water hammer and pipe bursts.
Bueno mga kasangkayan, hanggang dito na lang. Maraming salamat sa nakaabot sa dulo ng aking video. Sa muli, maraming salamat. Gracias. Adios.